guys, so we are out here in nature and I am sitting on a bench that overlooks a beautiful view. Oh my god, I am going to show it to you. Look at this. Here is the bench. When you sit down, that is what you are going to see. It is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. And then there is this tree right here. This to me is the perfect spot to do meditation. Just sit and work on your breath, work on your energies. It is very important to become aware of the dynamic influence that our energy centers have on our physical body. If any of those energy centers are blocked or out of balance, you will feel it in your physical body. See, this is something that needs to be taught in the schools, especially in the school of medicine. It is mind-blowing to me that they don't teach this in the school of medicine or in psychology or in psychiatry, because I am going to tell you now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, because I know that I spoke about me when I first had my spiritual awakening, but it is in the lower videos. You'd have to go and search for it on my channel. But I had this powerful spiritual awakening where I didn't know about the energy centers. Matter of fact, I chose not to know. The reason why I chose not to know was because of the religion that I was in that called those kinds of things evil. Okay? I hope you can hear the beautiful water flowing in the background to add to the ambience of this wonderful moment of me speaking with you. So, the religions say that the energy centers are demonic. So there was a time in my life where I was struggling really badly with emotional trauma. Very bad trauma. The kind of trauma that I have endured since childhood is not something that any regular person can survive. And I am very transparent about it because I hope that it will help somebody. Okay? If you've had a powerful healing, why keep it to yourself when there are others out there who could benefit from your testimony? So, I was not supposed to be born alive. My mother decided when she was carrying me in her womb to abort me. I was not supposed to be born alive. She tried many methods, she drank many toxic poisons. It did affect me, the fetus in the womb, because I was not born to live. There's no record of me in the hospital. They did not even mark disease or anything. They just sent me home with my mother to die. They said she will not make it past one day. Just take her home, she will die. They took me home to die. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, a week, I kept living. According to my mother and my father, there was no sound coming from my mouth. And they would have to put their ears to my mouth to see if I am crying, because no sound could come out. My lungs were not functioning. My heart was barely functioning. All my organs was barely functioning. I was born like a dead child with organs failing badly. And they did not even bother to put me in incubator, because why? I'm already dead, as good as dead. My eyes are all white. Take her home to die. Brand new baby. And this is because of the extent of the abortion techniques that were used on me. Nobody knows how I live. They just kept looking at me every day to see if I would die, but I kept living. And my mother said she had to give me food or milk from a little dropper. I could not even open my mouth to drink it. So according to my mother, I did not cry or make a sound until I was almost maybe 6 months. Then a little sound came from my mouth. An 8-month-old baby, I only had 12 pounds. So it was the doctor said, well, this is a miracle that we've never seen before. And also, still, she might not live to make it to 1 year. And if she make it to 1 year, she might not live to make it to 2 years. When I made it to 2 years, I was given away up for adoption to Canadians. And I believe that somehow, maybe this is why I'm here. Because the Canadians, I remember at 2 years old, I remember the Canadians taking me from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor to hospital to doctor. I got many shots, and I remember getting many lollipops because I would never cry for a shot. But I was still very fragile, very fragile child. But in British Columbia, in Canada, I endured extreme trauma from this stepmother or foster mother who adopted me. I don't know why she adopted me if she was going to be mean to me. You know, you adopt a child. Well, that's the way of the world, okay? Lots of foster children get abused. I was one of them, and it was extreme. I don't even want to mention it here, what I endured in Canada as a little girl, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, being abused constantly by my foster mother and her sister. My foster father kind of suspected that I was getting abused, but he couldn't prove it. But eventually he found out, and him and his wife, they got a divorce over that. It was so bad. So, as fate would have it, because nothing is accident, I ended up back to my original biological parents. I was not wanted by my biological mother. She wanted me to go back to Canada with the Canadians, which would be fine, but the only problem was I was being abused, and I don't think I would have survived the abuse if it would have continued. I believe that eventually they would have killed me with the extent of the abuse that they were doing to me. And nobody would have known if I was dead, because my parents are all the way in Central America. I am in British Columbia. Nobody would know if I was dead. Matter of fact, my mother did say to me, she said, after I haven't seen you in 4 years, I thought those white people already killed you. But no, I was alive, but I was being abused, and I don't know how I survived the abuse because I was very fragile, considering the way. So as fate would have it, I ended up back with my biological parents. My mother was not happy that I stayed with them. How did I stay with them? My father put up a big fight and would not give me back to these Canadians, almost as if he foresaw, or his intuition told him something was not right. You leave my little girl with me. But legally I belong to the Canadians because they gave me up and signed me over, so I was no longer in my father's name. I was in the Canadian name. I was Russell, not Armstrong. So I wish that this video would go so far as to get the attention of this Canadian woman if she's still alive. And I had 3 Canadian brothers. Their names are Elvis, Matthias, and Neil Russell. I wish they would see this video because I would like to meet that woman one more time and ask her, why did you do these things to me? You know, a little baby girl. What was the purpose? So when I came back to my biological mother, she began to abuse me even worse than the Canadian because she did not want me. That's why she gave me away. But I came back because of my father. My father fought to keep me. And my father was not there all the time to protect me from my mother, you see. He had to work. So whenever my father would go to work, my mother would abuse. And the abuse was so bad that she would call my brothers and other older sisters to join in the abuse. So I had like this whole family who were attacking me. Yes, my siblings were my friends and we played, but whenever my mother would click her finger and say, do this and do that to her, they had to obey. So most of my childhood was spent in crying and tears. But what happened, I forgot this part. What happened when I came back from British Columbia and she rejected me, I felt something in my heart go on lockdown. And I was very little. Something in my heart went, and from that moment I said, I will never, ever, ever, ever trust anyone again, and I will never let anyone in again, and I will never let anyone get close to me again. And I decided that this world is a cruel place, because everywhere I turned, there was cruel evil just waiting for me. Everywhere I turned. And this continued, the abuse continued between me and my mother for years. My father would look at me and he would say, I don't understand why she does not like you. And so I became very suicidal. I was very suicidal. But from a very young age, I began to feel a very powerful pull towards spirit, towards God. And I wanted to know, what is this spirit, this feeling, this presence that keeps pouring over me all the time? What is it? And so around 8 years old, I found myself always having conversations with God, asking God all these questions. Who are you? Are you my mother? No, who are you? Are you my father? And if you are my father, then who is my mother? Because at this point, at 8 years old, even though my father and mother is right there in the house, they didn't feel in my heart that they were my parents, because of the way that I was being treated. I felt alone, and I felt abandoned, rejected, neglected, and abused really badly. And it's so bad that I will never dare to say it here. Maybe I will write a book. And so at 8 years old, I began to have these mystical conversations with God. Who are you? Are you my father? And if you are my father, then who is my mother? And why can't I see you? And I kept staring up into the sky, because that is what they tell me as a child. God is up in the sky. And I kept staring up at the sky. Come for me. I don't want to be here with these people. Come for me. And I constantly, from that moment, I began seeking God. From a very young age, I wanted to find God. And it never stopped. And abuse and trauma continued. My first relationship, marriage-wise, was very bad. Second one, very bad. And all of this stemmed from me not loving myself. Me not loving myself and attracting men who don't love themselves, who were then incapable of loving me. So I attracted into my life abusive relationships. Even in just friends. The friends that I would attract into my life would abuse me, use me, just get what they want from me. That's all they wanted from me, was something. So I realized that I'm attracting negativity in my life and I don't know why. And so the trauma continued, trauma after trauma. If I had 1 year where I was happy since I was born, it would have been a very good year. There were little happy instances, but they were short-lived, because my mind was set in this way. Whenever something good happened to me, I immediately expect the bad, because of the time when I was a child. And the Canadians brought me back to my biological parents. I was so happy to be with my biological parents. So happy. I was so happy. I felt like I could fly. I was only a little child. But little did I know what was going to happen right immediately after that was that my mother was going to reject me. So from happy, I went to extreme happy, extreme sad. And this continued in my life. And so my mind became programmed to where whenever something good happened to me, I expect something bad. I look for it. Oh, something good happened. Something bad is going to happen. And this is how I've lived my life, because my mind was programmed that way subconsciously. Long story short, I can get into more details about that. But long story short, the trauma and the abuse continued no matter where I go. Even in job sites, I seem to attract abusive people to me. And debt came at me twice in my adult life. Twice I died and came back. And I know why now, though. Not that I understand the spirituality, I know why now. So anyways, in March 2020, I was going through one of the worst brokenheartedness that I have ever experienced in my life. One extreme broken heart to another extreme broken heart to another extreme broken heart. People who I meet, they just break my heart. They betray me. All this is my life. So in March 2020, I said, I am not going to continue this life anymore. I said, God, I've been serving you since childhood. I've been looking for you, seeking you, gave my life to you, devoted it to you. I'm not perfect, but you are first to me. I am tired of this now. I said, either you show me why my life is this way, because what I forgot to mention is that I was experiencing supernatural experiences in my life. I was experiencing supernatural things happening to me, things not from this dimension, since childhood. And I began to tell my parents about it, but they did not believe me. I tell them, this is happening, this thing showed up, that thing showed up, something just showed up from out of the sky, something showed up from thin air. But they did not believe me. So supernatural things began to happen. I could make supernatural things happen. And when people saw these supernatural things happening, they would say that I'm a witch, because they don't understand it. So they say I'm a witch. I don't want to be a witch. So I put aside those things that was manifesting out of me. So one day I went to a friend's house and she said, let's pray for you. And she began to pray for me. And I sighed just like that. And I went into this deep trance-like mode. And it felt so good. I felt like I could just fall asleep as she was praying for me. Little did I know that when I opened my eyes, I would no longer be in this dimension. When I opened my eyes, I was one with everything. This was 2015. I was one with everything. And I couldn't understand it. It was beautiful, powerful, but scary. It felt as if God was everywhere. It felt as if I could reach out and touch God right here, right here, right here in the face. But where was God? I couldn't see God anywhere. Where was God? Why am I feeling God is here? I'm feeling God, but I can't see. I said, okay, now this God that I have been looking for so long, since I was a child, I'm going to see him finally in this lifetime. But he never showed up. And so this experience of being oneness with everything lasted throughout the rest of the night. The next day I woke up and I said, oh, it was the baptism of the Holy Spirit. But it never left my mind. 2015, I made a video about this on this channel. But because I was religious at the time, I call it evil Holy Spirit. So I call something good evil. And so March 2020, I decided that the pain and the sorrow in my life, the trauma, the betrayal, the brokenheartedness, I can't take it anymore. How much can one heart take? I said, God, Father, I'm done. You do something right now, because I'm done. Whatever it is, whatever purpose you gave me this life, and I know that there is something that you want me to do, or there's something about me, because nobody can go through what I went through for no reason. There's a reason for everything. Nothing is an accident. And I said, you do something right now, either you heal me or just take my life, because this is not worth living. This kind of life, it's not worth living. Okay, because I have serious anxiety since childhood. I have anxiety so bad that I bite my nails, it's bleeding, blood is pouring down my hand. Because of the trauma, I have bad anxiety, and I just wake up in the morning, anxiety. Okay, And it was subconscious now. So I'm having anxiety for no reason. I'm watching TV having really bad anxiety. I'm eating my food, bad anxiety. So now it's subconscious. So my subconscious mind is running my life. And of course, now I'm attracting these abusive things in my life, because now subconsciously that is the vibration I'm putting out. Trauma must come because you're fearing it. So whatever you fear is fate. So whatever you fear will come to you. Little did I know that. Now I do. So in March 2020, I told God, forget it, just take me. I don't want this anymore. If you're not going to show me why I'm here, because I know I'm different. Everybody knows I'm different. Everybody knows I'm spiritual. But I'm waiting for you to show me why. You're not showing me why. I've had enough. Too much trauma, too much pain. Just show me or just take me. I don't even care. I don't even want to be in this world anymore. What's the use? It's just pain and suffering. What kind of life is this? And it seems as if when you let go, finally, because I've been holding on to life so hard, so holding on to life. Ooh, but the minute I let go and I said, I don't care about this life anymore. Okay, I don't even care. You show me why I'm here, why you gave me life, what is the purpose of my life, why did I endure all these things, why do I have these supernatural abilities, why do I feel so spiritual and so close to you since childhood? You show me. If you don't show me, and if you don't heal this body, then take me then. It's okay. Life goes on for the rest of the world. Just one other person gone. And suddenly I began to be inspired inwardly, intuitively, to do a meditation, something that I would never do because it's considered to be evil in the churches. To do a meditation, I did not know how, so I looked up some things on YouTube and I found Joe Dispenza, and he was teaching about the energy centers and how you activate them by placing your awareness there. And so I went home one night and I said, here goes. If this is the way God is going to take me, because in my mind I'm thinking this is evil thing that I'm about to do, but if this is the way God is going to take me, then this is the way he takes me. I don't care, because if I cared, I would not have done the meditation, because I'm thinking the meditation is evil and I don't want nothing to do with evil, but I did not care. So I did the meditation and I felt the first energy center get so hot that I had to move my body like somebody is pouring fire there. And then I felt it move. It was moving all by itself. The energy centers was moving all by itself without my help. All I had to do was activate the first one, the root chakra or the root energy center. The first one awakened the second one, and the second one awakened the third and the fourth. And when it got here to the heart, I said, oh, now I'm going to die. This is how God is going to take me. I don't even care. Because when it got to the heart, I felt my heart break in two pieces. And there was pain in my heart. And I said, oh, this is how I'm going to die. There we go. But after that pain in my heart, I felt the energy center move to this throat, and then move up here, and then move up to my head. And when it moved up to my head, I said, there I go now. Oh, maybe this is the way God is going to take me. Okay, whatever you want, God. I told you to take me. I am not afraid. I don't care. Take me. You gave me this life. You can take it. Take me. So this whole time when these energy centers are moving by themselves, I am thinking this is death. I did not know what was going to happen the next day. So I fell asleep after that, and I did this lying down. I wasn't sitting down. I was lying down in my bed. I didn't even care to do it properly. I just laid down in my bed. So the next day, when I got up, I got dressed, I got ready for work, and I felt kind of happy. So I said I will play this gospel music that I like to play from Sinach, Waymaker. I put my headphones on, and when I played the music, I could not contain the overwhelming power of the music. It was as if I became the music, and I took my headphone off because I said, this is too powerful. I feel like if my heart will explode just from listening to the music, as if the music was within my heart. I was feeling the music. The music was me, and I couldn't understand it, but I said, okay, I'm not going to do that again. That's too powerful. I got ready to go to work, and then something happened that was supposed to make me very upset. But instead, I just laughed blissfully. And I jumped in my car and I said, That is very strange. That should make me angry. But I laughed at it. And I said, And I jumped in my car and I went driving to work. And that is where I noticed that I was again one with everything. I was one with the people down the street. I was one with the trees, one with everything. I was on that one vibration, that one energy field that happened to me in 2015 again. I said, oh my God, it happened again. It's happening again. Oh my God. I was supposed to die though. I was expecting death. But instead, I have become one. Is this what God is wanting to tell me? Why am I one with everything? Why does God want me to know that I am one with everything? And I went to work this way and I told my boss, it's happening again. I am one with everything. And he knows about this stuff because he's from India. So he was at the right place at the right time, because if I was around someone religious, they would have canceled the whole experience. But he was like, you know? And so that oneness lasted the entire day. And I went home again and I meditated some more. And the next day, I became one with the Creator. And I know that sounds really far-fetched out there. This is the place where people say she's crazy. Because I've seen other people on YouTube or on TV talking about they are God. And they are automatically taken to the psychiatrist or locked up in the white jacket. But I am telling you a truth. No lie. I became one with the Creator. I was looking around and everything was my creation. I remember creating everything. My creation. I don't know how I did it. I just knew that I did it. And I was God, and my consciousness was not in this dimension. I felt all the time like I was this big giant just looking down at everything. Even if I go to work on my laptop, I felt as if I was as tall as the ceiling looking down at my laptop. I don't know how that was possible, but it was possible. And I became divine. I became God. And after about the third day, because I kept on meditating, I never let my energy centers go down. I kept on meditating, and around the third day, I felt the whole entire universe in my womb, right here. I was carrying it in my womb, right here in my... I said, why is it that the universe, the world, everything is in my womb and I'm carrying it? And because I know that Corona was happening and the riots was happening and the whole world has come to an end, I began to bless it. I began to fix it. I began to heal it. And I gave different testimonies about this in my... You will find them if you find my channel and my other videos. I began to bless it, and the world, the earth, the universe stayed in my womb for days. And I was just inspired to go out into nature and connect with spirits. I began to connect with the spirit of the air, connect with the spirit of the trees, of the water, of the wind, of the earth, because everything is spirit. There is not one thing that is not spiritual. Some people say energy, some people say spirits. It's all the same. And I began to call all the spirits to come together to help heal the earth. I called the spirit of the air, the spirit of the earth, the spirit of the water, the spirit of the skies. I call God. I call all the ancestors. I call all the ascended masters to fix the earth because of what it is going through. And whatever needs to be righted that was wrong and corrected, whatever hidden secrets and every hidden agenda that is being done to mankind, it will be exposed, and this earth will be fixed, and all the wrongs that have been done to mankind will come to an end. It might not happen right away, but I'm telling you this, it will happen, because when I was in that dimension, being divine and carrying the whole universe in my womb, those are the things that I spoke over the universe, over the earth, that shall come about, that shall be, is that people will awaken, is what I spoke over the universe, over the earth, as it was in my womb. People will awaken. People will awaken. And all the lies that have been told to us, all the deception that have been told to us, we will awaken to it. Okay? For example, the first deception is that God is separated from us. God is not separated from us at all. And the next deception is these energy centers that all these religions are calling evil, that is very beneficial to the health and well-being of mankind. If I knew about this before, I would have been awakened and enlightened since I was a child, because the level and the extent of how I sought and seeked God, if I knew nature, there's so many things I could have avoided. But I am not regretting the trauma that I endured to be able to come to this place, because every single trauma that I endured, all my pain, all my suffering, all my rejection and my abuse, all my abandonment, all the evil that was done to me, led me to seek God and to question everything, because I was in religion, and religion did evil to me. The people in the religion did evil. The worst evil things that you can think of that could be done to a human being was done to me by religious Christian people. And that is what made me question everything about religion, everything about this Christianity. And how can you say you have this wonderful God, this loving God, and you are behaving this way? I question everything, and it seems as if I had to go through these pains to become awakened. Because if everything was going good for me, peachy cream and dandy, I would just be like, oh, life is so good, why question anything? I'm happy. But no, my life was so traumatic. A normal person would not survive. And trust me, I did die twice, but I came back from the dead. Oh, the testimony. That is what I need people to know. That is my testimony. And I'm going to be talking about it some more, because I was healed from many things. When I was in that dimension, I felt this powerful force field of power coming out of my head, out of my heart, out of my belly, out of my whole body. There's one time I went into my room and there was a fork on the floor, and the fork began to levitate off the floor. Okay? Yes. And so I couldn't understand that. I thought, oh, I was still kind of skeptical about what was happening. But because of Joe Dispenza, I was able to understand. That is why knowledge is good. Knowledge is the precursor to experience, is what Joe Dispenza says. If I did not have Joe Dispenza to listen to, I would have lost this entire experience, because I would have thought, most definitely I'm possessed by a demon. But it was not a demon. It was God. I was possessed by God. And the other person that enlightened me when it comes to this was Sadhguru, a mystic of India, who said that when you activate all of your energy centers, there's hundreds of them in your body. There's energy centers. They're not, you cannot see them with your eyes. When you activate all of them to that level, you become divine. And that is what happened to me. I activated all of them and I became divine. I am not the only one who is divine. Every single human being that is born is divine. God lives within every single piece of his creation, even in the trees, even in the rocks, even in the flowers. There is a piece of God in everything. He placed himself in everything that he created. Right now, as we speak, this air, this breath between the two of us is God. Everything, the Brahman, the source of life, is in everything. It's not separated from his creation. So there I spent my entire life feeling rejected by God himself, because many of the pastors made me feel rejected by God because I'm a singer and I sing well. And they would judge me and tell me that I'm full of pride because I can sing well, and that God don't like it, and that God will cast me out. And so I felt rejected by God. I got so much pain in religion because I can sing. Little do they know that since I was a child, all I want to do is sing and worship God. And so when I get up there and I do it so well, they think that I'm full of pride because I sing well. No, 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 no. Wrong person. And so this is what I need people to know, is that God is within you. God is within you. Okay? God is within you. And there's no reaching God by going somewhere to look for him. He's within. When the Bible says the kingdom of God is within you, it literally meant it. It's within you. Heaven is within you. Nirvana is within you. The end of suffering is within you. You don't go somewhere to a church. You don't go somewhere to go look for God. You won't find him. Trust me, I did it for over. I was a child looking for God in ways that would make a monk look at me and say, well, who are you? I searched for him. I sought him. I seeked him, and I could never find him. The closest I came to feeling God upon me was when I would worship in music, and I would feel my spirit rise, and I would feel God everywhere. But the minute I stop singing, it goes away. But still in my heart, I know, God was here. I felt him. But then it goes away. And that's because I elevated my energies. I elevated my vibration when I worship. And that is why I was able to touch that level of divinity a little bit when I worship. But when you activate these centers and raise that vibration up higher, more higher than what worship music can do, you touch divinity and you become what you truly are, which is you are all extensions of source energy. You are all extensions of God. You are all extensions of the Creator. The Creator, when he created, placed himself in his creation. God is within you. And that is my vlog for today. And I hope that this blesses you. And I hope that you go and try to find more information about these energy centers that are within you. There's lots of diseases and lots of suffering that can come to a stop if people are more educated about the source of life that is within them. Do not allow the source of life to work against you. Allow the source of life to work for you, not against you. Because if the source of life is working against you, how that happens is that you think, the way you feel, it communicates to the energy centers. Okay? And negative, we send a negative electrical thought to our bodies. And all of these energy centers in our bodies, they have a mind. And when you activate them, they have a mind. All of these energy centers, especially the heart. So that you go and find more information about these energy centers and learn more about them and educate yourself about them. And raise your vibration, raise your consciousness. This is a new era. This is a new generation, because I know for a fact that when I was in that dimension, when I became divine, and the earth and the whole universe was within this womb, this belly, this body right here, I said, the world will now awaken to this truth. I am not the only one who is going to experience this. I am not the only one who is going to know this and feel this. The world will now become awakened to this truth, and all the old systems are going to die away. Religion, systems, churches, schools, who have held us, humanity, down instead of uplifting us, but kept us down, kept us in the dark, it will go away. It will come to an end. It will, not immediately. Nothing happens immediately. Gradually. Because it was spoken, and it is done. It is so. And so, coronavirus and the riots when it comes to Black Lives Matter is something that had to happen. It was overdue. Black people have been wrong for hundreds and hundreds of years, and this was overdue. This had to happen. The coronavirus, it had to happen. These are things, chaos had to happen, and out of chaos will come order. And this new order that is coming in will be awakeness in mankind, enlightenment in mankind. Okay, so get ready for it, prepare yourself for it, educate yourself upon it. If you are interested in spirituality things, subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be talking a lot about enlightenment and consciousness, raising your vibrations, acquiring a higher level of consciousness, because this is the new era. This is the new world. The whole universe has evolved to a higher level of consciousness. I know that for a fact, because I was the one doing it. I know that for a fact, because I was in that dimension and I saw it all. Okay? I know that's a very bold claim, and I know that people are going to call me crazy, but why do I care if people call me crazy? What, do you know what kind of trauma I've been through in my life to call me crazy? could be a compliment, is a compliment compared to what I have endured in my life. And I believe that God, Source, Spirit, knew that I would have to go through those kinds of things because of the kind of life and the kind of purpose that was in my life and the kind of backlash that I would have to take because of my purpose and because of what I am going to say. So I endured the worst of the worst of the worst to be prepared for the worst of the worst of the worst. So whatever people want to call me or judge me, that is okay. I've been through it all. Okay? So even that, I've been even that. So, namaste. I will see you later.